to Israel run for their lives to save themselves in Israel, myself included, and my mother. In 2004, as I went to Yassi to do some work, I visited my town. Yassi, before the war, had more than 100 synagogues. One remained. One synagogue from the Middle Ages, the 14th century, and only one synagogue who is now more of a museum. It's hardly a minyan could be found to really have a service on Shabbos. During the holidays, I was there. There was a few broken elderly Jews who remained in Yassi. The rest are in Israel, and I would like to tell you that on that trip, as I took a cab from the train station to where I had to go, I told the cab driver only the address. I speak English with an accent, but Romanian I speak perfectly. And I said to the cab driver only 3-4 words in Romanian, the address of the place where I had to go. He looked at me and he said, "You know, since the Jews left, we are unable to make even a pair of decent shoes." I want to thank you for the opportunity to tell the story of my town. Thank you.
I was much younger than Moshe. I was 2 years old when the Progroms started in Antwerp, and my story will be very short because it's secondhand primarily. In 1941, in April, I was just a year old, the Anti-Jewish League in Antwerp, which was primarily the SS, the Flemish SS, went on a rampage and burned 200 Jewish shops in the town, burned them down, plus 2 synagogues of the 5 in the town that existed. Within a year, the Germans instituted and executed the law with the yellow star, that all Jews had to wear the yellow star and were completely isolated and could not do any business essentially whatsoever. That same year, in the month of August, the Antwerp police, and this is important, always the local police helped the Germans, arrested more than 1,000 Jews in the city, 280 of them children. And those were all deported within 2 days to Auschwitz and Birkenau, where they were executed. From the Belgian population, 62% of all Jews of Belgium were executed and died in Auschwitz and Birkenau. Among them was my maternal grandfather, Joseph Meisel, my father, Willy Wolf Zeev Loria, my mother's sister, Anna Meisel Gottlieb, and her husband, Paul, and their daughter, my only niece, Regine. Their names are here on the monument, and it gives them a place because they have no other grave whatsoever. I thank you.
Good afternoon, everybody. It is my great pleasure today to introduce the Never Again Scholarship Award winner. To honor those 12,000 people in your hometown and everyone else, I encourage all of you to listen to what Abby has to say, and I'm going to be handing out her handout about what you can do about genocide today. You can all imagine during the Holocaust that people who were suffering and dying said, "Why isn't the world helping us? This is horrible. Surely people out there care." And right now, this minute, someone in the Congo who is suffering as a result of genocide is wondering, where is the rest of the world? Doesn't anybody care? It is our obligation to care. And it is our obligation to do something about that caring. And I expect that you're going to leave here today and do something for somebody that's facing what we faced in the Holocaust. Abby is quite an accomplished young lady. In addition to winning our scholarship today, she is a senior at Clover Hill. She is a student athlete. She runs cross country and track. She is the president of her Student Council Association. She is the president of her chapter of the National Honor Society. And she is the president of the Varsity Club, an organization started by student athletes to do service projects here in the community. So without further ado, I introduce to you the 2010 Never Again Scholarship winner, Abby Badura.
The noises she was hearing weren't screams. A scream could be defined, but these terrible sounds were indescribable. They permeated the air with a heaviness and dread too strong to bear, and shattered the silence of the dirt streets that were now engulfed in a chaotic storm of dust. Those shrieks she heard, the primal and uncontrollable cries, could only be labeled as one thing: pure terror. She knew her beautiful and courageous husband was gone when she had heard his own desperate cry for help that had torn her heart to pieces, and the gunfire was only confirmation. With one shot, the Lord's Resistance Army had taken her love, her life, and most alarming to her current situation, her protection. Now that the dust was settling on the bodies strewn violently across the street, she knew that the soldiers would be coming for her. As cold yet clammy hands grabbed her from behind, it was clear that they planned to do more than just kill her. Violence and widespread killing have wreaked havoc on Congo for decades. But since 1996, the start of this first civil war within the country, killings and assaults on the citizens of Congo have escalated terribly. Incidents like the one described above have become commonplace. The Lord's Resistance Army and the Forces for the Liberation of Rwanda, both led by leaders from the Rwandan genocide, have terrorized the country, seeking out both former Rwandans that have fled across the border to Congo, as well as innocent Congan citizens to kill. Their attempts to cleanse the area, including pillaging and burning innocent villages, massacring village men, and raping and killing countless women and children. What, then, can we do to prevent these atrocities? First, spread awareness of genocides, massacres, and racial oppressions across the world. Give talks in your community or write letters to your local paper in which you describe the current genocides around the world, or even just share these stories with friends and family to make them more aware. Start a campaign against genocide in a selected area of the world that holds importance to you. Social networks and media allow you to start a strong and powerful campaign that can touch millions with an important message to make efforts to end genocide in a mere minutes. Aid relief organizations such as Enough, as supplies and aid are vital to the survival of those living in oppression and torture. Contact your local representatives or senators or even higher authorities to press them to do more worldwide to stop genocides from occurring. And finally, support medical relief efforts such as those of the International Rescue Committee, who have taken a special interest in Congo by setting up countless free medical centers and counseling services for women and children impacted by rape and mutilation, by volunteering with them or donating to their cause. With your help, we can stop the brutality of genocides from taking the lives of millions more around the world.